First and 10 for the Giant 14. Rodgers with the fade for Wilson and the touchdown.
On first down into the end zone, Breece Hall.
Daylight all the way. Watch this. Dak knows it right at the end. He tries to throw it high, and he should have caught that, actually.
Protection breaks down, and time runs out. Down goes Rod. A loss of 10 on the play. Into game one, Zach Wilson, the former number.
The New York Jets do not got a lot of time, and they got to live up to the hype like as soon as the season starts. They have no time to play around or dilly-dally. This has to be the season that they go ahead and go on a run. So at the age that Aaron Rodgers is currently at, yeah, they got to go ahead and win now. And if they really want to go ahead and reach that thing that they haven't gotten since Super Bowl III, they're going to go ahead and need to be one of the best teams in the AFC, because the AFC is not no joke. It is an all-around war zone. There are going to be a lot of blockades in order for them to go ahead and reach the goal that they want to go ahead and reach. On today's video, the New York Jets are getting a full breakdown, talking about all the key players on this team, their defense, their offense. We'll go into their schedule a little bit as well and answer the question, do they have a chance to go ahead and make a run this year through the AFC, and how much time do they have left in order to make this run? Now, before I get into it, make sure to drop a like and subscribe. Very much appreciated. All my socials all in the description, and let's get into it. Start off the video, of course, we got to go ahead and talk about Aaron Rodgers, okay? Last year, of course, he had that Achilles injury, which really sucked, because I was really excited to see Aaron Rodgers and Garrett Wilson play in this Jets offense. We were robbed of that. Hopefully, we are able to see that this year. I'm going to be very excited to see what these two can do as a duo. I mean, Rodgers was talking about how, yes, Devontae is in his own category, but there are a little bit of some similarities between the two. I feel like Garrett Wilson's X factor is going to really be unlocked this year with Aaron Rodgers at QB. But of course, we should all know Aaron Rodgers, a future Hall of Famer, one of the best quarterbacks in NFL history. He can do some insane things on the field, make some insane throws. He does not turn over the ball. Of course, this is really the X factor in this Jets team, because the reason why this Jets team was so bad last year is because they had Zach Wilson and Tim Boyle and just an all-around terrible quarterback situation. If Aaron Rodgers would have played, things would have been different, but because of this, the Jets were bad, and the Jets offense is going to be completely different next year. They got some nice offensive weapons to go ahead and pair with Aaron Rodgers. I mean, we might as well continue talking about Garrett Wilson. Garrett Wilson has been in the league for 2 years now, and he's played with Zach Wilson at quarterback pretty much both of the 2 years, and he still managed to somehow, some way get over 1,000 yards. Last year, he got very close to almost having 100 receptions, but his touchdown numbers really haven't been there. They've been kind of low, but he's still an outstanding receiver. And I'm pretty certain next year, once Aaron Rodgers plays with him, those touchdown numbers are going to go up. He's going to get targeted way more, and low-key, Garrett Wilson might have 1,500 yards next year just based on the quarterback situation improving. Then this offseason, they went ahead and signed Mike Williams. He was released by the Chargers because of, his cap hitting and how much injuries he's been having recently. That man cannot stay healthy, but he is a nice little receiver when he is healthy. He's definitely a deep target. He can do some great things in an offense when he's healthy. Keyword, he needs to be healthy, which I'm not sure if he's going to be ready by week 1 since he did tear his ACL, but let's say in a world that he is, he just has to stay healthy. But he can also be an outstanding wide receiver for Aaron Rodgers, because we all know how much Rodgers loves throwing deep, and Mike Williams can be that deep threat in this Jets offense. Currently on the Jets depth chart, the wide receiver 3 is Xavier Gibson, but who knows, by the time the season starts, it might be Allen Lazard again, because he had a really bad season last year. But we all know how much Aaron Rodgers loves Allen Lazard. We saw what he did in Green Bay, so who knows, he might move up, he might still stay down in the depth chart. We'll see what happens with that situation, but who knows, Gibson might be a solid guy. And then you got Breece Hall, the guy that probably would have won Offensive Rookie of the Year if he didn't tear his ACL, because that guy was on an absolute tear. But last season, he comes back, he plays week 1, he ends the season with almost 1,000 yards, 994 to be exact, 5 touchdowns. But if you want to include receiving too, it was basically 1,500 yards combined. This is going to be the season for Breece Hall, because the Jets are going to try to run the ball, I feel like, as much as they can, because they don't want the full load on Aaron Rodgers. They see how old he is. You got to give it to your explosive running back in Breece Hall. Now, a year coming off his ACL injury, he's going to get a lot of his explosiveness back, and next year might be the year that he just goes ahead and goes on a tear. Now, during the offseason, they made some moves to go ahead and address the offensive line, because, well, it was pretty bad. I know I said the biggest reason why the Jets were bad last year is because of the quarterback play, but the second biggest reason why got to be the offensive line, because it was all around terrible. But they went ahead and signed Tyrod Smith from the Dallas Cowboys, which, all pro dude, one of the best left tackles in the NFL. He's an all-around dog at his position. They went ahead and also got Morgan Moses from the Ravens, and they also went ahead and drafted the dude out of Penn State, one of the best, highest rated tackles in this year's draft. So hopefully with some new offensive line pieces, they're able to go ahead and put everything together, and hopefully the line is way better than what it was last year, because last year it was tragic. Now we're going to talk about the reason why the Jets actually won football games last year, because, well, it wasn't because of their offense, it was because of their defense. They got some amazing players on this defensive side of the football. Of course, they got Sauce Gardner, the all-pro corner that they got out of Cincinnati a few years ago. Whatever wide receiver it is, he's going to go ahead and give them their toughest challenge ever. A guy that can also go ahead and get some interceptions in there as well. Just an amazing, if not the best corner in the NFL right now. They also got DJ Reed. This is why it's so hard to pass on this Jets defense, because, you know, these two corners right here might be the best duo in the NFL. They're locking down anyone, and they're making it very hard to pass the ball on. They also got Jermaine Johnson at defensive end. He had 7.5 sacks last year. He can also be a nice little piece. They also got Quentin Williams, who was an amazing defensive tackle. He went ahead and got his bag. And then in the offseason, they went ahead and traded Hassan Reddick. They got him from the Philadelphia Eagles, and that man, well, he was one of the best players on the Philadelphia Eagle defensive end. Last year, he had 11 sacks, and man, oh man, he can all around just terrorize offensive lines and terrorize quarterbacks. And the whole defense is coached by Robert Saleh, who was the head coach of the team, and man, this guy's an amazing defensive coach. Another reason why the defense is so good. We saw what he did in San Francisco as defensive coordinator, and he's pretty much doing the same thing with the Jets. I just hope this man gets a good offense, because they were having some conversations about him last season, and I don't think he's a bad head coach. I think he just has some terrible luck. So these are all the pieces that the New York Jets have, and well, like I said at the beginning of the video, we got to answer the question of, can the New York Jets, you know, go on a run and, you know, do some things in the AFC and, you know, maybe win a Super Bowl, because we all know that's the goal for the Jets. To start off the season, the Jets O-line is going to get tested right away. They got to go ahead and play the San Francisco 49ers, which, if you know, Aaron Rodgers and the 49ers, the playoffs, he should have been a 49er, all that stuff, all that drama jam-packed into a week 1 game. I'm so excited. That's going to be a great game. So that game, you know, it could be a toss-up. That O-line is getting tested immediately. Here's the nice thing about the Jets schedule. I mean, after that game, they got some very nice games and some very winnable games, like the Titans, the Patriots, the Broncos, the Vikings. I mean, that's a 4-week stretch right there with teams that are really not supposed to be good this year. And then they got a tough one versus the Buffalo Bills, which, like, you know, that's your division rival. It's going to be a tough one. Then they play the Pittsburgh Steelers as well. That game, and you know, the Steelers are always going to try to play competitive. And then they play the Patriots again. I know they're not worried about the Patriots this year. Then they play the Houston Texans on Thursday night. This game's going to be an all-around movie. Rodgers versus Stroud. Ooh, that's going to be a great game. And then they play the Cardinals, which, you know, the Cardinals might be another sleeper team this year. Indianapolis Colts, I feel like they're going to be the biggest sleeper team this year. And then coming after the bye, they have some games that they're most likely going to have to go ahead and win if they want to make the playoffs, like versus the Seahawks, versus the Dolphins, versus the Jaguars, which I think they'll be able to take care of the Jags, versus the Rams. You already know that one could be a toss-up too. The Rams are also a sneaky little team. And then to close out the season, they got to play a game versus the Miami Dolphins and a game versus the Buffalo Bills, which are going to be very important, especially if they want to go ahead and win the division. Speaking of winning the division, I honestly think that the Jets are going to win the division this year. I think they're going to beat out the Bills, and I think they're going to beat out the Dolphins. I think it's going to be very close between them and the Dolphins. That's why I think those games are going to be very close, but you know what? I think they're going to split it, and I think the Jets will go ahead and win the division this year. They haven't done it in a hot minute, and low-key, I don't know why. This year just feels like the year for the New York Jets, especially if everything clicks, and I think everything will click. And to answer the question, can the Jets go on a run this year? Honestly, I don't know yet, because the AFC is so tough. The Chiefs, the Ravens, the Bengals, they have so many good teams. The Chargers, like, there's so many good stacked teams in the AFC. It's going to be hard to generally go on a run. I mean, even though I have them winning their own division is tough. I mean, they have 2 very good teams in the Buffalo Bills and the Miami Dolphins in their own division. Remember, only 7 teams make the playoffs, so it's going to be a very tight race. I think the Jets will win the division. I think they will make the playoffs. Go on a run, though, I'm not so sure yet if they're going to be able to go on a run, but I will say they need to figure it out very quickly, because they do not have a lot of time, especially with the age Aaron Rodgers is at. But honestly, if they do go on a run, I would not be surprised. I feel like this Jet team kind of has some AFC Championship game vibes on them, especially if everything clicks, so I wouldn't be surprised if they did, but I'm not so sure if they're going to be able to yet. But let me know what you guys think in the comments if the Jets are going to be able to go on a run. But that's going to be the video for today, guys. If you enjoyed, please drop a like and subscribe. It's very much appreciated. Watch this video on why this is the Dallas Cowboys' last chance to go ahead and do anything, or go ahead and watch the video YouTube recommends. But drop a like and subscribe, and I'll see y'all in the next one.